and it takes 7 days. You don't have to even wait through that whole, you don't have to have a reason, or if they don't have a lease or an agreement saying that they can be there, you can be put out at any time. And that's the thing about being month to month or not having that lease. So that was the point. He didn't want that. So her paying the money and stuff is irrelevant. He wouldn't sign that damn lease because of all of those reasons they just said it. And it was just her choice. It was a choice, and it was a badass decision.
You can play the clip too, darling.
Oh no, y'all gonna have to wait until I'm ready now, because I'm doing something.
Which by her not signing the lease is considered a violation of the lease.
And it seemed like he was trying to protect her by telling her to just sign it. But she wasn't going. She wanted him to rewrite it. She probably, you know what it sounds like to me also? It sounds like he had a same, like the same payment. It was the same for probably the past 2 years or so. And then he upped it, and that might have upset her. And I think that little thing right there is where what seems like it was bothering her. That he went up on the rent, but he never did the past 2 years. That's just an assumption.
I've rented before. I rented a townhouse for 4 years. I have impeccable relationship with my property managers, okay? Even when I was late. Because I made sure I let them know, hey, bruh, it's going to come up short. Can we make an arrangement? Now, he hadn't upped the rent in about 3 years. That 4th year, he upped it. I wasn't even mad at him. I was getting away good. And I mean, like, paying for a townhouse, paying $950 a month. That motherfucker wasn't raising it all them 3 years. So I wasn't even mad. I would never complain about that shit.
Also, I have a question for the comment cousins. What rent to own contract that's 10 years is being renewed every year?
Wasn't the contract at all.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we've determined that was a lie. It's just,
Quickly, no.
Yeah, no. There was
Especially
no
since
rent
you
to
saying
own.
a house like that in Gwinnett County is way more, at least 3. Come on now. That's not a rent to own. We're not doing that.
No, this is but where the mall of Georgia is. It's expensive. Like, no,
and then you gotta understand too the parameters of his loan by which he even owns that house to rent out to her. I don't even think it allows for a rent to own. I don't even think that would be. I mean, it depends on the parameter of his loan, but I don't think that a loan would allow that.
Said somebody said she should have hit that dog till she couldn't hide that ass no more. Dress it up or something. Y'all gotta know how to hide y'all pets, bitch. Y'all gotta hide y'all pets better, for real. Y'all do know.
Why is they trolling you in these comments, girl?
So y'all do know that when y'all do let somebody come up in your house who ain't supposed to be there, you gotta treat them like they not supposed to be there, right? You know, you gotta hide. You're supposed to hide them.
Up, please.
As a girly who didn't hit my ex in the house.
Okay. What more
You gotta hide them. You gotta hide them. You gotta hide them. You can't let the management see.
You gotta know what you signed up for.
Okay, you gotta tell your friend they gotta park on the other side, because if they keep parking next to your building, then they gonna realize that this person must live here now. So you gotta sometimes tell them to switch it up. You know, they gotta park up the street, maybe on the other side. Yeah, you gotta hide that motherfucker if you got somebody living with you.
You request one more time, you getting blocked.
You know, and when I was signing the new lease, I took she's from Florida, so I'm getting a new lease. So can I have a driver's license? She gave it to me. And then when inside, she started, what's her name? Ashley. She started, acting out. I think she was high on it.
Yeah.
So.
And also, last year there was evictions filed, and she said last year the reason that all of those evictions was filed is because
Non-payment of rent.
Saying anything.
Huh? Non-payment of rent.
Yeah, non-payment of rent. Exactly, because that's what I saw from last year. Those that I saw online, I'm like, no, these says you didn't pay rent. So this had nothing to do with the heater not working or this being broken or that being broken. It's just you didn't pay rent. So last year, the ones you filed was for non-payment, pretty much.
Yeah, and we went before the judge, and again, she was with her fiance, a female partner, and then the judge says you want to go out and this and for arbitration, something like that, and we sat down in the room and we discussed it, and she signed the lease, and but she was habitually late. She was like, Mike, I'm going to be late, and I said, okay, never mind. And she used the money order in the mailbox, and I'm in the business of going to collecting money orders over here,
So you worked with her pretty much last year. I thought that's pretty nice. You worked with her.
Yeah,
You
3 years. I worked with her for 3 years.
Yeah, I said, yeah, it sounds like she needed more time and you worked with her. So the thing she said.
I can show you. I can send you all kinds of late rent notices to her. All kinds of
You can send it here because that's wrong. What she's doing on the internet is defamation of character.
Yes.
By making it seem like you're a slumlord, saying she paid you every time. So yeah, if you can send me those, that'll be nice. But yes, she.
But this time, she paid her rent, and I said, I'm not giving any money orders anymore. So either you can sell me or Venmo me, and she would Venmo me, and I would not recognize the name.
Yeah.
So I said, I do not recognize his name. I would like to refund the because I don't want. So I sent $1 back as a test. I'm sending $1 back. Please confirm you received $1, so I can send you back the April rent because I didn't recognize she had a weird name on it. So I said I do not recognize this person. I cannot take a rent from that person.
Yeah.
So
the first time this year, yeah, she paid April's rent, but she was not. You had to pay.
Okay, wait. So I don't understand why that's a problem, though. So he's saying that she would pay him under different people's names. Ain't that legal? Or because he's saying he wants something with her name on it.
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's
not
not
gonna hold you.
I
You're
don't know.
supposed to. Your name's supposed to be attached to those payments to confirm that it is you that is paying.
Not necessarily, because I paid my mortgage out of my mom's account. So that's not true. Legally, that is not true.
So when
As long as the payment is made, the payment is made, and you know that's my
He's
payment.
seeing a pattern. That's something different, Essence. If he's seeing a pattern of her using constantly
just
somebody else's
answering-
name, I get what you're saying legally. I'm
She
just
already
saying.
asked about a pattern. She just asked what
I know she didn't. I'm just saying though,
that's
you
all
can't
I'm
compare
answering
it to your example because if somebody sees some fraudulent activity happening and they see a pattern, he doesn't have to accept the payment if he doesn't feel comfortable that this is coming from a source that won't report the payment as being fraudulent later on.
So I have a question.
See, you're putting that on your mom's name, so of course they're not thinking that you're going to put that on somebody. If you see random different Tom, Dick, and Harry's names, what you gonna think? Like you're liable now.
I mean, some
Okay,
people.
So
Yeah,
my question is this: Would it not come off? Okay, would a person be able to dispute it? The name. I'm asking. Would it be something that is disputable? Like if she's paying.
Yeah, if you put it in my name,
her
yes, I can
mom's-
dispute it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand. I think the danger of paying with someone else's information is that it can be then disputed, and then at that point you're out of your money. So that's what I'm thinking about. I could be wrong.
Has
Yeah,
anybody been okay? Real quick, has anybody the black girlies in here that get their hair done and need to pay have to pay a deposit? Have y'all ever been scammed? Because I have. Trying to find a hairstylist in the area. Ever been scammed by like having to send money to a website or pay a deposit to a website you think belongs to the quote unquote hairstylist, but it's not them. They don't actually have a location. They don't whatever. I know it's happened plenty of times. They have hairstylists, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, when it don't match, when it's stuff like that, then it can cause for concern. Like there's usually fraud behind it.
Yeah, that's not why I came up to say AP, but I do want to clarify for the people downstairs. In the area that AP lives in, this is a common practice, and my sister and two of my cousins have been gotten several times like that before, where they paid a deposit and they were trying to get something from the person or whatever it is, and then that person either didn't show up or they weren't there. Or one time my cousin went to a place and the lady was like, "Oh, the address up there is my old shop. I'm actually at my house," and her house was 45 minutes away. So I just want to clarify that I do not think that AP is lying. And also AP, I got a girl over there that can get, but to the point, what I came up to say was, first of all, it's not illegal to pay under somebody else's name. Of course, that's not illegal. You can pay if you want to. But I do agree with both AP and Rose. I believe what the landlord was trying to insinuate was that there was some type of fraudulent activity. Like he was trying to, like, I guess, go for her in that moment or be shady. But I just want to clarify, I don't think she was doing any fraud, and I've done the same thing. Like, for real, maybe my car locked up, or I done lost cars, and I call my mom like, "Look, girl, I got this cash. I'll put it in your account. Go ahead and give me your card number so I can pay these people today." So I don't think there was anything wrong with it, but I think the landlord was trying to insinuate something.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to, but I think it's just a good business practice when you have long-term agreements and stuff like
Yeah.
that, not to take, payments from different names and stuff like that, because why are you doing all of that? Like they said, it could be fraud, and then that's something that I have to deal with later on. Like, who knows? So, I think it's just not more so than illegal. I think that it's just a good, most good business people put parameters like
That's
that
a
in
good
place
point
to
to
protect
have.
themselves.
I will say this. I remember staying in an apartment in Marietta. She can just pay it. When I went to because I had got a new card because the card had expired. When I got a new card to put my card back on it, because I thought that you could at least have two ways of payment on it, they locked it. And they were like, "You gonna have to come and bring a cashier's check so we have proof that you can actually pay that, and then you can unlock it from there." And it wasn't that I didn't have the funds. It was just, why you doing so many different payments? What you got going on? That's what they asked. They was like, why you doing so many payments? It's not made up. I'm for real. It really did happen. It was in Marietta. So I went up there, brought them the cashier's check, and told them, like, "Hey, this is me." Then they just released the hold. I'm not lying, y'all. I'm for real. They released the hold. And they were like, you and they looked into the system and they said you had two different types of payments in there. And they locked it. It was protection. It was just their level of protection. Everybody's is different, but that was their level of protection.
So the question was in regards to someone else paying your rent. Banks don't care when you have a mortgage where that money comes from. But when it comes down to a rental agreement, they may allow you to pay your rent with someone else's check as long as it states in the notes that it's for such and such rent for the specific person. Your name has to be listed in the notes that it's for your rent.
Address.
Otherwise, well, and not just the address, because here's the thing. If I allow you to pay my rent several times, it's now implied that you may live there. So you have a legal representation, you have legal standing saying, "Hey, I've paid rent to this address. I live here." Now they have to go about evicting you.
Like a squatter?
Yes. Yes, because if you're not on the lease, if you're not on the lease agreement,
He's exactly
if you're not on the lease, you now have to be the one being evicted. This is why when there's a rental agreement or a lease in place, they specify with the names who's going to live there, because they have to have a legal method to go about evicting you.
He's exactly right.
Jason. Yeah. What's up, Trina?
Trina, what I meant was like a squatter could pay one time and then try to lay claim that they live there and just never pay again, and then just sit there and not leave.
That's exactly what can happen with anyone.
It would have worked in like Vegas or something. It don't work in Georgia.
Has one of the biggest squatting problems in the country. Literally.
Hey guys, real quick, hold on. It's 1100.